Hey guys, what's up? Derek here from Bomb Socks, back with another week of Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ, one bite at a time. So this week I am excited to be able to finish up because we've talked about the atonement, we have talked about the crucifixion, and we are talking about the resurrection, one of the greatest doctrines ever. And I love what it says here in the Come Follow Me for this week as we're getting ready to study the last chapters of the Gospels. And it says simply, Jesus Christ was resurrected. And I love what it says here. It says, in these passages of Matthew 28, Mark 16, Luke 24, John 20, and John 21, you will read about one of the most important events in the history of humankind, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. As you read, put yourself in the place of the people who witnessed the events surrounding the resurrection. What do you learn from their experiences? You've got Mary Magdalene, you've got Peter, you've got John, you've got a couple of disciples, which we will talk about tomorrow. How do you feel as you read about the Savior's resurrection? Consider how it has affected you, your outlook on life, your relationships, your faith in Jesus Christ, and your faith in other gospel truths. Now, one of the things it suggests here in this, it says to go to the Bible dictionary and go to the gospel topics. I would recommend doing both of those as you're reading about these chapters. You go in also and you read about resurrection. Particularly, I love the Bible dictionary. The resurrection consists of the uniting of the spirit body with the body of flesh and bones, never again to be divided. What a cool doctrine. The resurrection shall come to all because of Christ's victory over death. Every person, if you have a pulse, you will be resurrected. Jesus Christ was the first to be resurrected on this earth. Others had been brought back from death, but were restored to mortality, whereas a resurrection means to become immortal with a body of flesh and bone. All will not be raised to the same glory in the resurrection. This is an important thing. Nor will all come forth at the same time. Christ was first. The righteous will have precedence over the wicked and come forth in the first resurrection. Many of you have patriarchal blessings, hopefully mentions something like that. Whereas unrepentant sinners come forth in the last resurrection. I've always joked with students and just said, if your patriarchal blessing says, hey, you'll come forth in the evening of the last resurrection, that's not necessarily the best of things to happen to you. Now it says the New Testament gives ample evidence that Jesus rose with his physical body. In fact, you get into Luke chapter 24, and this is the lengthiest of all of the gospel writers about the resurrection. In this chapter where, like I said, Jesus has interaction with two disciples, which we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Verse 39, he tells them to behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones as ye see me have. Look, you can actually touch a glorified resurrected body. When he had thus spoken, he showed them his hands and his feet. Verse 41, such a cool verse. While they yet believed not for joy and wondered, or the footnote says marveled, he said unto them, have ye here any meat? Which I think is a fancy way of saying, I'm hungry. You guys got any food? And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and an honeycomb, and he took it, and he did eat before them. Jesus just did a really cool object lesson as he showing that resurrected bodies can eat. What a glorious doctrine. I love that idea. I've had people ask me, it's like, will we get to eat? Oh, Jesus did, so apparently we will. So that's an important thing to understand here. One of the most fundamental doctrines taught by the 12 was that Jesus was risen from the tomb with his glorified resurrected body, as in Acts chapter 1, which we'll talk more about next week. And it's interesting because the apostles today do the exact same thing. They testify of the resurrected Jesus Christ. They say he lives. You go back and you read all of our apostles, and you see how they talk about how he lives. They testify of his resurrection. To obtain a resurrection with a celestial exalted body is the center point of hope in the gospel of Jesus Christ. The resurrection of Jesus is the most glorious of all messages to mankind. And then it says Latter-day Revelation confirms the reality of the resurrection of Christ and of all mankind. What a wonderful blessing it is. Because Jesus Christ was resurrected, guess what? So do you and I. These imperfect bodies that we have that get sick and old and, all the frustrations that come with having a physical body. Granted, it is a blessing to have a physical body, but this imperfect body will be glorified someday and reunite with the Spirit. That is wonderful doctrine, and it is, like it said, the center point of hope in the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so I am excited to be able to talk about it this week, and I can testify to you, I believe in the resurrection. And it is such a wonderful doctrine to believe in, to know that our physical bodies will be able to be resurrected someday after they die. I love that, and I am grateful for it, and I know that it is true. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks, as always, for sharing. We are so grateful that you do that. Please check out our amazingly comfortable gospel-themed socks at BOM-BITES.com. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Godspeed. Bye-bye.